Tawfik, welcome to Scotland. On behalf of the Asia Scotland Institute, we're really delighted that you're here in Edinburgh and you're going to be in Glasgow later today.
It's my pleasure.
And everybody has been impressed by what you've said and is looking forward to hearing more from you. As you know, the purpose of the Asia Scotland Institute is to educate and inform tomorrow's leaders in Scotland and equip them with the knowledge and skills to engage with Asia. So we're absolutely delighted that you're here to do that.
It's my honor.
Your subject is, can radical Islam be defeated? What advice would you give to the people of Scotland while you're here who in many cases feel that they've done quite a good job in dealing with religious minorities, in absorbing them in their society? What would your advice be to them to deal with these issues?
I believe the best way to deal with them is to define clearly what do we mean by radicalism. Because if you do not define the word radicalism and what does it mean, the content of the word, you will be unfair to some moderate Muslims and you may consider them radicals, for example. And also you may allow the radicals to flourish if you do not define radicalism. So my only advice to them is to, number one, define radicalism. And I can help with that by giving you some examples now. The second is to take the process out of religion to the understanding of the religion and to insist that anyone who wants to be called moderate must fit within this criteria. And this criteria, I put them in a test called the ABC's test for radical Islam. And it's very simple. It's A, B, C, D, F, G. A for apostate killing. B for barbaric treatment of women, like beating women or stoning women to death. C, calling Jews pigs and monkeys. D, declaring wars on non-Muslims to spread the religion and after offering them Islam or jizya or killing or to be killed. And E, enslavement of female war prisoners and raping them, as what ISIS is doing. F, fighting Jews before end days and killing all of them. And G, gay killing. If this value system is not something bizarre, it is what traditional Sharia laws teaches till this moment. And what I am requesting from the Islamic scholars who wanted to be called moderates is just to clearly and unambiguously denounce such values. Without being able to clearly denounce them and to provide an educational religious system that counter these values and have a different understanding of the religion against this, then it will be very hard to stop the process of the so-called Islamophobia. Because it's, as long as you teach this stuff, it's expected that people will react against you. So I believe by defining radicalism, by insisting that if you want to be called moderate, I'm more than happy to help you and will consider you as a brother in humanity, but at least it's fair enough. I know that you are standing clearly against these values and you are providing an educational system for your young Muslims that's clearly against such value system.
So are you an optimist or a pessimist? And in answering that question, I know you've made use of Facebook and other internet-based tools to help you get your message across.
Look, for me, it's like asking me during chess game, are you optimist or pessimist? And I'll tell you, it depends on the moves of the game, how things will go. So the same here. I believe if we continued using the same approach that we have used since September 11th till now, which relied nearly only on military, we are failing. ISIS is expanding geographically. The rate of terrorist attacks is increasing. Even the locations are now widespread to involve Paris and Belgium and and America. So what I can say is, if we continued using the same approach that has already failed over these years, I am pessimist. If we started to address the problem strategically and more effectively, addressing the components in psychology, in behavior science, in ideology and theology, we will be able to defeat it ultimately, and then I am optimistic. So it depends what approach the world is going to use. If they would continue in the same failed tactic, using the same failed tactics, then I'm very pessimistic and things can get worse, especially if the radicals get access to weapons of mass destruction. We will see a different world, believe me. But if we started to realize our weakness in addressing the brainstem part, and we started to use the talents and the people who have knowledge to deal with this problem correctly and effectively, I believe we will be winners, especially with the internet. I have personal experience with the internet. Remember, I told you for 30 years and more I was fighting radical Islam before September 11th. And I had only 5 people following me. I can tell you the names of these people, believe me. Okay? Many of them are still in Egypt. Okay? And in 2 years' time, after I started my modern interpretation for the Quran that reinterpret the religious text in a very peaceful way that can change completely the situation of radicalism, I had on this Facebook more than 2 million likes. This tells you the power of the internet. I am optimistic, because I have seen it in reality, the power of the internet. If you know how to use it effectively, if you have good content and you know how to penetrate and reach people, I believe we have the tools now to change things and to fight the problem correctly and prevent and weaken the disease itself. As I mentioned to you, I like to call it the polio eradication approach. When we eradicated poliomyelitis, it was not because we cured the people who have polio, but we actually worked predominantly by vaccinating the normal ones so that we prevent the spread of the polio virus itself. The same can happen here. In addition to caring for to dealing with the terrorists, what is more important is giving mental vaccine to prevent the spread of radicalism within Islamic communities and societies, and thus we can eradicate the problem and weaken the phenomena of terrorism. So we can use an approach a bit similar to the polio eradication where we vaccinated normal people.
I want to thank you very much for coming and being with us in Scotland, delivering your message, and for taking the time to share your thoughts and your views with so many people. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your hospitality. I really enjoyed every moment here in Scotland, and thank you again. And with the Institute, of course. Thank you. Bye-bye.